He stole my video. He stole my video. He didn't actually steal my video, but I did this video already. Okay, well, hold on. We weren't making music there, though. You were just slapping reverb on a vocal. FLstudio@gmail.com. All right, bass. Okay, anyways, why buying more plugins makes your music sound worse?
So I think all the plugin companies are gonna hate me for making this video, but screw it.
See, the thing is, like, hyperbolic, dude. Like, once you notice it, bro, you're gonna notice it constantly on YouTube. Being hyperbolic on YouTube, saying things are terrible or amazing, that's what sells, dude. And, like, do you think buying more plugin actually makes your music worse? No, dude, of course not. It's just hyperbolic. It's hyperbolic for the sake of getting people to click.
I mean, it feels like every month there's so many new plugins coming out. Like, Isotope has a new one.
So the funny thing is, like, I talk about this all the time. I think I may have even done a video about it a long time ago. The thing is, like, they're just trying to find new ways to sell you the same thing, or if they'll add, like, just one feature. Like this Cascadia one, the only difference between this and the regular delay is it, like, smartly unmasks the delay. You know, like, it's okay. And it's like, is that really a huge issue with delay? Like, not really. That's kind of more of an issue with, like, EQ and stuff like that. This Waves Equator one, this is gonna come and go, dude. People don't give a shit. Like, it already, the IDX one too. The IDX one is way oversold.
Baby Audio just came out with a new one.
Transit 2 is actually decent. You know, all this stuff is replaceable though.
Cable Guys has a new one. I want to ask you this.
It does look like he has huge hands, but he may have a wide angle lens. I can't tell.
How many?
Either that, okay, you know what it is? Maybe he has a small head.
How many plugins actually come out every year that do something completely new that you could?
He stole my video. He stole my video. He didn't actually steal my video, but I did this video already. The Death of Music Production. I did it 2 months ago. I got hate for this video. Predicted the future, dude.
Couldn't do before. I mean, I've been making music for over 15 years now, and I've bought and tested so many plugins and spent so much money. I'm sure some of you guys are even worse than me. I'm sure some of you guys have over 100 plugins that you've bought. But I want to try to convince.
Do you guys think IDX is snake oil? What do you think? I don't know, like, I've been using it a little bit and I'm just like, I'm not super impressed with it.
I mean, there are some obvious exceptions if a really amazing one comes out, but I want to convince you not only to stop buying them, but even to get rid of plugins that you already have, because I think it makes you a better producer and a better artist. So I've got like 8 main points I want to get to back this up, but at the end of this video, if you're still gonna spend money on anything, I'll tell you what I actually recommend doing. So the first reason to own less plugins is so you can use the sharpest knife. So what do I mean by this? Well, say you're in your kitchen cooking and you have like 20 knives to use, but none of them are that sharp. They're all like butter knives. You would happily trade those 20 butter knives for one.
You're going the wrong way with this one. All right, okay, well, hold on, but you're gonna need a bunch of plugins to find out which one is the sharpest knife. Are you saying delete them?
Chef's knife that can cut through anything. And that's really how you should think about your plugins. Like, being able to use one compressor really well is way more important than having 20 different compressors and only having like surface level.
Okay, my brother. You did not write this very well. Like, using the sharpest knife, you're making it, okay, that argument sounds like you're talking about using the best plugin, you know? You should have written sharpen your knife.
Like, every compressor reacts to audio differently. They all have different tones. But if you're forced to just use one compressor, you're gonna become an expert in that one compressor.
No, this is not Busy Bear Beats because the video is 9 minutes and it actually gets to the point.
You're gonna be able to make it do anything you want in any situation. So you can either be a master of none and just have a basic understanding of a lot of different plugins, or you can pick a select few of the most important tools and really master those and be able to have your way with them and make them do whatever you want. And that really leads me to my second point, which is about creative flow. The whole point of making music is to get ideas from your head into your computer as fast as possible. So when you learn your plugins really well, they all just become second nature to you. Like, let's say I want to add some reverb to the drums in this buildup to automate some tension. Well, first of all, I don't need to waste any time picking what reverb I'm going to use. I know exactly.
I want to actually finish this video so we can, you know, milk it for the second channel.
Exactly what I'm going to use.
This man stole my whole flow and he didn't shout me out.
And then I know that this mode chamber sounds.
Okay, I'm gonna speed it up here though.
good on drums. I don't want it messing with the transient, so I'll turn the attack and pre-delay down. I'll dampen the low end and the high end. I'll cut this off pretty intensely because I know that sounds good on drums. And then I'm pretty much done without even listening to it.
If the plugins you're using all have the same parameters, which they should, like if they're not renaming the parameters to dumb shit like heat and stuff like that, you should be able to do this with any plugin. You should be able to be like, okay, I want the decay to be 3 seconds or whatever, and then set it like that in any plugin. I'm not saying, hey, use as many plugins as you want, but I'm just saying like the argument, you could use that in other plugins.
So anytime you have an idea in your head, knowing your plugins really well is just gonna help you get those ideas out faster. And if you multiply this by every little decision in a song, you're gonna start making music a lot faster, and you're gonna start finishing more tracks. And when you finish more tracks, you learn from those tracks. So you're actually gonna end up getting better at making music faster than you would have.
Okay, well, hold on. You weren't making music there, though. You were just slapping reverb on a vocal.
If you had way more plugins to choose from. And that also relates to my next point, which is the paradox of choice. When you have too many options,
okay, this is real.
It's actually mentally draining.
I wouldn't even say it's mentally draining. It's just you get paralysis. What is it? Decision paralysis. I get that all the time with fucking Amazon. Like there's like so many different options for like, the other day I was looking for like a USB cord, and I just wanted like a 10-foot one, and they were all trying to sell them in 2-packs. They have like different links to them and shit like that. And then you're like reading the reviews and shit like that, and you're just like, okay, I don't know, this one's got a 1-star review. No, there is something wrong with having a ton of options, because on one hand I do agree, like it's good to have a lot of options, but at the same time it can kind of paralyze you. Like you're just like, you like read, especially if you're like somebody who overanalyzes things, you know, because like you'll like read that 1-star review and you're like, oh shit, dude, wait, this guy said it didn't work. Maybe I shouldn't buy this one. Then you read another one, you're like, oh no, this guy also said this one doesn't work. That could happen to me.
So first I got to think, well, what compressor would sound good on this vocal? And if I have a lot of options, I might use that compressor, and I might say, hey, wait a second, maybe I'll try a different compressor. It might sound better. And I'll be like, wait, no, I'll try another compressor. Having all these options literally makes your brain tired. Well, it's taking mental...
Hold on. Not just ADHD people, also OCD. ADHD, OCD gang.
Capacity away from more important things like songwriting. Like any compressor is going to even out the signal of a vocal. What's more important is the songwriting and the feeling that the song gives you. What's not that important is what compressor you use. So when you have more options, you'll second guess yourself more.
I find some compressors to be better. I don't know. Like the glue compressor, I'm not always a big fan of that one. Like it's good sometimes it's not.
You'll be less happy with the decisions that you do make, and all your decisions are just gonna take more time. So having more options isn't always better. All right, let's keep going. So the fourth reason I have is that using the same plugins over and over will actually help you develop a signature sound. Like let's say there's a synth sound or a certain drum pack you like to use a lot. If you use that over and over, it's not actually a bad thing. Because when people listen to your music on Spotify, they'll start to recognize your sound. And that's how you really develop your own recognizable sound. And that's like the holy grail for making music. You want someone to hear your song without even seeing who it's by and be like, oh, that song's by Big Z.
Are we talking about engineering here? Hold on a second.
A signature sound. Like let's say there's a synth sound or a certain drum pack you like to use a lot.
Okay. I thought you were talking about engineering here. I'm like, yeah, people are not going to know that compressor. That's Flying Lotus. That compressor's Flying Lotus.
If you use that over and over, it's not actually a bad thing, because when people listen to your music on Spotify, they'll start to recognize your sound. And that's how you really develop your own recognizable.
That's one thing I didn't like about that Billy Humes video or whatever. Like he was saying like, oh, music is all still sounding the same. It's always sounding the same. It's because people are using the same stuff, or like they're not recording with like real microphones and stuff like that. And it's like, bro, like the difference that makes is not going to make your music stand out that much. Like maybe like a few percentage points, but you know, all this other stuff like matters way more. Like the groove, you know, using similar sounds to your other things. So people are like, okay, hey, like that, I recognize that guy's that guy.
Sound. And that's like the holy grail for making music. You want someone to hear your song without even seeing who it's by and be like, oh, that song's by Big Z. Like that's the holy grail of producing music, and it's really hard to do. But one thing that can help you get there is to actually use the same plugins and sounds over and over again. It's not a bad thing. I mean, look.
Only if they are unique. Only if they stand out. Also, like the way you use them matters a lot too.
Look at huge artists like Kygo and Purple Disco Machine.
Is that the tropical house guy? I feel like all tropical house kind of sounds the same.
They both have such recognizable sounds, and it's because they use the same sounds over and over again. So try doing that in your own music, and don't worry too much about using the same plugins over and over. And another quick reason to own less plugins is it makes it easier to collab with other producers. Like say you're sending a project file to someone else to work on. If you have like 50 different
Tropical house is shit. So I kind of feel like at this point in the video, he's starting to just be like, okay, I have this argument here. What are all the ways I can like lean into this argument? You know, like this is not really a good argument. Like if you're sharing project files, using less plugins is better. I mean, what if the plugin that you could have used, like the other person doesn't have, it like makes a big difference? Like what if me using vocal line to line up the vocals in a pop track, it's gonna make a big difference for a pop track. Should I not use it then? I don't know. Yeah, bounce it to stems then. I don't know. Like this is just, you're just like kind of digging for ways to like back up your argument.
Your plugins on there, they're not going to be able to use it. They're not going to have all those plugins. But if you stick to the few most popular plugins that are actually the best plugins to use, like Serum, if you're using the synth Serum, chances are that producer is also going to have Serum, and they're going to be able to work in your project file.
I mean, if you're like using Vital, then you know, it's free. But yeah, I don't know. That is true though. I mean, that is, yeah, I see it.
So it does make it easier to collab too. Also, owning software is kind of a pain in the ass. You got to deal with updates. You got to manage your licenses. You got to troubleshoot technical issues.
So we're just looking for reasons now, right? To be fair though, Waves sucks. Waves does suck, dude. What I hate about Waves, so I've talked about the Waves update plan before in one of my videos, like a year or two ago, I think. It might have been 2 years ago now. And the one thing that's actually truly awful about it, other than the you know, the fact that in order to get updates, like, and you, let's say you update your Mac OS, like that it won't work with it anymore, is you don't get a second license unless you have the Waves update plan, and then they cancel they cancel it after a single year. Like, it's totally scummy, dude. Totally scummy. Because like usually, like any other plugin, you're getting 2 copies of it. You can at least like use it on 2 devices. And a lot of people have 2 computers, especially audio engineers.
When it's not compatible with the newest version of your DAW, owning less plugins means less downtime.
Wait, like, does that happen? Have you guys ever heard of that happening? A plugin not working with your DAW? Like, are we talking 32 to 64-bit here? Because A, that's fixable. 2, like, are these plugins 10 years old? Like, what the shit? What the shit, dude? Like, I think the actual argument here is more so about like the operating system for Mac, and then also the secondary licenses from Waves. No, it's not your DAW for Mac though. It's for the OS. It's the operating system it doesn't work with. I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, he means old. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's old operating systems. It's not the DAW's problem.
New computer, and every time I buy a new computer, it's such a pain to transfer all the plugins over to the new computer. I'm digging through emails from like 5-10 years ago, trying to find my license keys. And I'm like resetting my password on all these random plugin websites, trying to get my licenses.
FLStudioSucks@gmail.com. All right, based.
Websites, trying to get my licenses to make these plugins work on the new computer. It's such a pain in the...
That's actually pretty funny. Yeah, the reason why I don't like using so many plugins is every time I buy a new computer, which happens so often, I have to put in my license key. I have to put in the license key. I have to search through my emails. It's such a pain in the ass. You know, it's not like there's like a way I could like expedite the process by like putting all the installers into a folder and then putting it on a hard drive, making like a notepad file with all the licenses or something. Man, there's no way I could make this easy. Or even just installing them as you need them, you know?
Of like 10, 15 main plugins that you love to use, then that's going to mean less downtime when you transfer over to a new computer, and just less overall downtime troubleshooting upgrades and technical issues and compatibility issues. Also, have you ever tried opening up?
That is true. He's actually kind of arguing for iLok right now.
An old project file for a song you made like a year or 2 ago, and just nothing works the way it should. Like you were either using different plugins back then, or they're just old versions of the plugins that don't work with your newest.
You must be on a Mac, because that is a pain on PC. I have one of each. I have a PC for streaming, and well, actually for like all my desktop work, I actually do on a PC. And then I have a MacBook. MacBooks are so superior to Windows laptops.
Less plugins means more consistency across projects. So that's the 7th reason. Now, after the last reason, I'm just gonna tell you what I would do differently if I were just getting into producing now. But the last reason is the most obvious one. It's just when you buy less plugins, obviously
money. I knew it. Beat you to it. I beat you to it.
You're gonna save more money. So it saves you more money, it saves you time, and it helps you focus on.
That's not a good argument though, because let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest here.
I love Weaverbeats' children more than he does.
Oh shit, whoops. Didn't mean to play that. Get an extended free trial.
On what actually matters, which is writing music that connects with more people. Now, I don't want to just come out and say that all plugins are useless. Like, there are some amazing tools out there that I love using in my own tracks. It's just, there's a lot of overlap between plugins. Like,
at least he's not selling us a course. I don't know, dude. There's still like a minute left in this video. Don't speak too soon.
At a certain point, a lot of them can just do the same things as the other plugins. So there's a lot of redundancy when you buy more plugins. And none of this is sponsored at all, but I would recommend getting one really good wavetable synth that you can make any sound you can possibly imagine in Serum. I would recommend.
Not true. Not true. There's some differences between Serum and Vital. You can't make everything in Serum that you can make in Vital, and you can't make everything you make in Vital in Serum. It has 3 oscillators, also has the spectral wave shaping or something. It's different. They're different. They have slightly different things. The filters are different. The effects are different. Am I saying buy every synth though? No. I'm just saying that like you can't do everything in Serum.
I would recommend getting one really good sampler instrument. Like if you want a realistic brass or piano sample to play on your computer, that's when plugins like Contact come in, and I think Contact is really good for that. And I would also just recommend getting one really advanced EQ, one really good compressor, and one really good reverb. Other than that, the free stock plugins that come with your DAW are pretty amazing. They can do great things and they can sound pretty good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully you save some money, or just think about what plugins you're buying a little more carefully in the future.
What's your opinion between Pigments, Serum, and Massive? I haven't used Pigments in a long time, but I know Pigments is good, Serum's good. Massive, I don't like the sound of. I used to use it a long time ago, though.
Plugins that keep coming out, but you don't need to buy and jump on every single one that comes out. Thank you guys for watching.
Honestly, like my go-to is usually Vital. I don't know, I just like the workflow of it. Like it just makes sense to my brain. Serum's the GOAT. Yeah, I mean, Serum's good. Let's see. Try my mixing course for free. Well, I'm not saying it's like terrible. I don't like the sound of Massive. I used to use it though a long time ago, once upon a day, when people used to make dubstep. Actually, they still make dubstep. When I used to make dubstep. All right, guys, as people requested. There you go, Tony. There's your new.